Welcome to 843 TV. I'm Wayne Morris from WHHI-TV.
And I'm Carrie Manning from the Village Spa.
And today we're coming to you from #1 Brigantine in beautiful Palmetto Dunes. It is a fabulous house here in Palmetto Dunes. Say it mildly.
Not a shabby little place.
It's listed by Charter One Real Estate and Charles Sampson, who is the listing agent, and he's going to be our first guest. He's going to tell us about this house, all the features that it has, the price, which is really good right now, and also he's going to talk to us about the real estate market, looking back at 14 and looking ahead at 15.
So our next guest is Miss Charlie Clark. She was here. She's wrapping up all of the stuff that happened at the Chamber Ball, which was really exciting. And then she's here to tell us about their next big event, which is the Business Expo.
Yes, it's going to be a huge event. Our last guest is Mona Huff from the Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra, and she is going to be telling us all about the International Piano Competition, which is an international event,
which is humongous.
It's world-renowned, and she's going to tell us about the days and the competitors and how to get involved and how to buy tickets. So
make sure that you join us for more 843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
843 TV, where Bluffton comes to speak.
Where Spring Island comes to speak.
Where Hilton Head Island comes to speak.
Where Port Royal comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
Welcome to 843 TV. We're here this morning with Mr. Charles Sampson. He is the owner agent of Charles Sampson Real Estate Group for Charter One. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Good morning.
Doing good. So we're sitting in this beautiful home here on 1 Brigantine in Palmetto Dunes, which is a very popular place here on the island. Tell everybody a little bit about this property.
I tell you what, this is a phenomenal home. It was built in 2003. It's over 5,100 square feet. It's 8 bedrooms. So if you've got some friends, pick it up, own it, and let all your friends come. 8 bedrooms, 7 baths. There's 4 balconies. The pool outside is double level. There's an outdoor kitchen. It's just a spectacular home.
It's not a shabby little place.
Yeah. and just to give you an idea of the market, in 06 they had an offer of about $3.2 million. For some reason it didn't get worked out, and the house is now on the market for about 30% less at $2,095,000. So it is a deal.
If you got the money, that's a good deal.
It is a deal. I mean, the rental income, it's rented through Island Getaway, and the rental income for the last 2 years has averaged about $160,000.
I believe it, because we were walking through it. I mean, it's the perfect vacation house.
It is.
Especially if we were saying, if you had multiple families, like a
still have
brother and
privacy.
sister and their families, it's kind of broken into like separate.
Oh yeah, I mean, multi-generational groups. I mean, you could have the grandparents, the parents, the kids, you know, whatever, and everybody could have their own space.
You can tell it was designed
Great
that way.
And we're only a few steps from the ocean. We're third row.
Yeah.
So we're not direct oceanfront, but we're only a few steps from not only the ocean, but also
everything
the Marriott,
available in
the
Palmetto
tennis
Dunes.
Center, the Robert Trent Jones Golf Center. So
Yeah.
great location, great house, great rental property.
We noticed that when we came in, because you're kind of right when you get in the gate.
Yeah, it's
so you
easy
don't
to
have go
find.
far. And then you're also less than a city block from the beach. So it's perfect.
Yeah.
You got $2 million hanging around.
Sure.
Let's buy 2.
So tell me about how the real estate market has been. I mean,
you know, 2014 was a great year. It was second only to 2013 since 05, and 05 was the top of our market. An example, 05, we had 1,420 homes sell on the island, and this year we had about 879. It's kind of unusual though. Of the 879, 25% of them, 221, were in Hilton Head Plantation.
Wow.
And what that's saying is people are coming here to live here and buy and move here, and the values that Hilton Head Plantation offer. The higher price, like this home, they still are ticking down a little bit in values and stuff. So, for example, this home was listed for $2.9 million not long ago, and now it's 2.1.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know, Charles, you've been around since the 70s, which in Hilton Head years, that's like old-timer status. You're practically a native. So I'm sure you've seen it just cycle up and down. Tell me about how have the cycles moved and how, I mean, you can never predict, but how have they moved since the 70s?
Well, the cycles have, but one the last thing about 04 or 14 that is a real good thing is the average price of sales and the median price of sales, they increased. So the numbers went down just a little bit, about 5%, but the values did. Cycles. Yeah, we did move here in 1972. Highway 278 was a 2-lane road. There were no stoplights. There were about 6,000 people. And
It's changed just a little.
And things were really moving because Sea Pines by the mid-70s had 2,500 employees. And then the oil embargo came. And so we went down to Sea Pines having about 500 employees. They brought in Phil later to cut everybody. And so that was the first cycle. The second cycle was in the mid-80s, the federal government changed the tax laws, and you could only write off one second home. And if you can remember back the late 70s, early 80s, interest rates were 15, 16, 17%. So people that had these second homes were trying to refinance them. They found out the values weren't there, so they were walking away from them. So that created the savings loan crisis. In 86 or 87, the stock market crashed in October, so it was bad. You get to the 90s and things kind of mellowed out. So let's come up to 2002. From 2002 to 2005, we went up about 45%.
Wow.
Then in that summer, Greenspan starts talking about exuberance, and he's talking about the stock market, but also real estate. So people started thinking about that, and they also, Katrina and Rita came through the Gulf. We went from having 1 month's supply of inventory to 20 or 30 months supply of inventory.
Big difference.
So that went down. And in 05, we had about 1,420 homes sold, down to 820 in 06. And then the bottom of the market was 08 at like 570. Last year, we were back up again to 879 or something. So the cycles are enthusiasm, optimism, and then you get up to exuberance. That's where we were in 05. And then you hear fear, and that's where we went down to 08, and then depression. And so what's happened now is we started going back up from 08. Prices continued going down, but the number of sales went up. So from 08 to now, we've gone up. We're probably in that enthusiasm or optimism. I don't know when we'll get back to euphoria. Hopefully, maybe not totally, because things were crazy in 2005. But this year has started out great, and people are picking up values. They're coming and buying because interest rates are actually lower now than they were before. The long-term rental market is great. I had somebody come from Kansas, buy a house, put it in long-term rental, and he bought it because of the interest rates. So, I mean, we think 2015 is going to be a great year.
And it's still a good time to buy, it sounds like.
It's a great time to buy. And for sellers, put your house on the market now, because the 90 days before Heritage Sunday is one of our best selling periods. And you've got less inventory on the market. Interest rates, like I said, are great. Put it out there with a realtor, hopefully with Charter One, and let us help you.
That's awesome. Well, this is a fantastic house, and they've been seeing pictures of it as we're talking now, so I'm sure they're getting a full dose of what everything this house has to offer, and we appreciate you hosting us this week.
We appreciate you being here.
Stay with us. We'll be back with more 843 TV.